Okay, so right, this is basically just a test. I wanted to see what the live stream will actually be like when I'm at home on a Wi-Fi connection. I did do a test I think it was about probably a month or so ago back now, just testing in my car, and I think that might have also been on 3 mobile as opposed to on EE, so my connection speed wouldn't have been that good. But basically, obviously with the orders for the 12 Pro Max coming, I've basically been organising all my cases and things like that. I had a box full of cases for the 10, the 10S, the 11, and also all the new ones that I've obviously ordered for the 12 Pro Maxes as well. And basically the idea with this video is just going to be taking a look at some of the cases I ordered previously from AliExpress, and basically just to see what sort of quality you actually got with those particular products. Now with the shape of the 11s and all the ones before, because they were more rounded, you did, especially with these silicone kind of cases, you had that situation where the bottom obviously was open. It was never fully closed like the new ones are. So because of that, obviously the fit and finish of them was slightly different, and that's something that I've already noticed on the 12s, the cases that I've had for the 12s, where I do actually much prefer the full case essentially. But what we'll do is, firstly, what I'll do is take a look at some of the good ones. So effectively that's all of these silicone cases, and the leather cases not so much. I mean, the leather cases look great in the pictures, but I'll get onto those. So what I'll do is I'll start with the green one, because this is one that I actually used for quite a long time. Obviously I've got the green 11 Pro Max, and basically because of that, obviously I thought I'll order the green silicone case. And I don't know how well this is going to come across on camera, but basically as you can see, it is quite worn in. This logo initially was, well, you can still probably see it slightly, but it's slightly raised. The fit and finish of the case, as you can see from the seams on the side, let me just try and get that to focus in. I think you might just be able to see it just there, where the seams weren't actually machined properly, so it wasn't rubbed down properly or anything. That's probably a bit of a bad picture. And basically the inside's all fine. I mean, you've got soft touch materials and everything, but the issues with these kind of cases, and more so with the leather ones, was the fact that the camera cutouts, because it was literally just the silicone kind of ended there, it didn't, on these ones it wasn't too bad, to be fair, but on the leather ones, basically it didn't line up properly. So what I noticed was this very edge, whereas this has got a sort of bezel to it, those don't really have that. And something that you'll notice on the newer 12 Pro Max cases was the fact that they now come with a sort of plastic ring on the inside, and that, I'm guessing, is to stop the leather from just fraying around those particular edges. But yeah, so this one, I actually used it for a long time at work. The downside about all of these cases is obviously the fact that the bottom's all open. So this one's worn. I've probably used this in a factory environment for months. So I mean, you can see that it's not really been wiped down or anything. If you were to clean this, then obviously it would look a bit better. But what you will notice is this section here, it's got a bit of a shine to it. The rest of it is all quite matte. Now the reason I used this particular one for so long was, initially, as you'll see, some of these aren't even open. I can't remember which one it was that I actually tested. I think it may have been possibly this one. No, it's not this one. So the feel, and I know this obviously won't come across on video. I'll try and show you with this, but basically I can't really replicate it, but the material between these two cases is completely different. I know obviously there's no way of you actually seeing that or feeling that, but this is a lot smoother, whereas this is a lot grippier. And the problem with silicone cases is they attract a lot of lint, and that's one thing that I found with, it was one of these blue cases. I think it was probably this one, because this one looks like it's actually got somewhere on it, whereas this one, if we take a look at it, yeah, so that one's virtually like brand new. It's very, very smooth. It's very slippery as well. So the difference between that and that is very, like, you can tell there. So with this one, it's a lot more obvious. That one, it does not slide, whereas this one, as you can see, the silicone is a completely different composition. This one probably highlights it a bit better in terms of how the Apple logo isn't actually stuck down fully, so it does stick up a tiny bit, which unfortunately that's what you get with all of the AliExpress kind of cases. And obviously there you can see where they've stuck it, where the cutout is and where they've kind of stuck it on. The rest of the actual case itself, I mean, considering the price difference, because these, I know for the 12s, these retail for 40. I think in all of the cases, because of the MagSafe for the 12s, have gone up a bit in price. But even taking that into account, I think these will still be, they would have been probably around about the I'd say 40 mark from Apple Direct, and these I think I probably wouldn't have paid more than say £3-4 for each of these. So value wise, obviously it is worth the money. And in terms of packaging, as you'll see from these, I think some of these I've never even, like the black one, I've not even opened. That's never even been opened. But basically, if you take a look at the actual packaging, what you'll see is it looks, for all the intents and purposes, that this is a genuine item, and obviously that's how it comes as well. The white one, let's just take, I did actually really like the white one as well, but it's obviously it's going to get dirty so quickly that, and this one's probably, I don't know if you can, yeah, you should just be able to see it there, where that has got loads of lint on it already. And this, I think I put it into my tracksuit bottoms once, took it out, and it was just covered in lint. And then I was like, yep, I'm not putting up with that on a daily basis. So that's all the silicone case, and both of these blues are slightly different. I'm not sure what they'll be labeled as. So where's the colour? I don't think it actually lists the proper colour on here anywhere, but anyway, the blues are slightly different. You have a green, then you have the white and the black. So that's all of the silicone cases. Now the leather cases, initially I thought, yeah, these are going to be quite nice because I've had leather cases before, and these ones did actually come with sort of metal replica buttons. They're not actually metal, they're probably still plastic, but they are reasonably clickable. But the problem with this one was you'll be able to see it from here, so you can see where they've pressed the leather in order to create the camera loop, essentially, the groove for it. It's not quite right, so you can tell straight away that bit there, it's not quite cut right. And because of that, what actually happens with this case when you put it on is it doesn't sit around the camera bump, if you like. It actually, in some places, so that was one of them, and I believe this bottom corner was another part where you can just about tell that that's not been cut right to where the pattern is, and because of that it actually sits on top of the camera bump. So this back part is never actually fully against the phone, and then you've got the problem where you're constantly going to have dust and basically dirt coming into the back of the phone. And with the 11 Pro Max, what I did do was I didn't actually use any clear skin on the phone. I will be making a video soon, just taking a look at all of the older phones and just looking at the condition of them, because I think a lot of people will be surprised by how well the iPhones actually hold up for me. And basically just very simple thing that I do, just stick on a screen protector as soon as it comes, and basically stick on a clear skin onto it. So yeah, with this one, same thing again. You can see there where basically it's just not quite cut right, and they never really fit the way that I wanted to. Also, it's very slippery. Obviously, initially when I bought these cases, I thought I'll use these as my work cases because they'll be hard wearing, and I do quite like the way that leather patinas over time. I don't think this is genuine leather. It seems like fake leather to me, but obviously you do get all your embossed kind of logos and everything on the inside. The attention to detail is quite good. On these ones, they didn't even suffer from, for the most part, from the issue that I've had with the 12 Pro Max cases where the inside, the lining just wasn't done right. So in terms of fit and finish and everything, that's all very good, but they literally just messed up on the camera bump. And I'm assuming that that's something that obviously on the newer ones, what we should see is a ring around there, a plastic ring. All right, so that's all this sort of Apple replica kind of cases. Now getting on to a couple of other ones. So what do we have here? So yeah, this one is actually quite nice. It's basically they call it electroplating. So it's really metallic-y looking reflective color. And I really like the way this blue actually works with the green on the 11 Pro Max. The downside with this is you can see it already. It's how greasy and how many kind of reflections you get in terms of the marks, where you're just constantly cleaning it. It is kind of slippery once you actually, because obviously you build up oils on your hands. As you touch the phone, they transfer onto the case, and when the oils actually transfer onto it, it is actually very slippery considering it's a silicone case. But in terms of looks, yeah, I have to give him that is a really nice case. Now this is something that obviously I've spoken about for the 12s, where these are the kind of cases, and you'll be able to see from how many marks and the wear on this one, where basically this one's been used a lot. I probably use this for the most part out of any case, apart from the clear one that I've actually got on it at the moment. This I actually used at work simply because basically it's so slim that basically you can fit it into your pocket, your work trousers, basically nice and easy. The downside with this was obviously the fact that it is very slippery. Like these, obviously they have virtually no texture to them. They've got this sort of matte feel to them, and because of that, they're very slippery. So you have to be very careful with those kind of cases. This is essentially this one also I did actually use this for at work for quite a while as well. This is that same sort of rubberized soft touch material. Really like these kind of cases. I think the only reason I got rid of this one was literally because I just wanted to change, because obviously this is just all black, so I literally just wanted it to have a little bit of color. That's why I switched out. Now this one, I've never actually used this for a long period of time. I think this one I actually got before I got the black one with the yellow buttons, but essentially it's exactly the same case. So it's got nice grippy sides. The black is actually slightly more grippier than the green. The green I'd say is slightly slippery, slightly more slippery in terms of the rubber material that they've actually used. But yeah, really nice and clear, because obviously if you compare what they've done on both of these cases with, I don't know if you'll be, yeah, just there, so you can see all the little dots, and the dots, the idea behind the dots, and you can just about see it on this one, and the idea behind the dots is basically they're it's the surface isn't quite level, so in all the crevices in those little dots, basically it creates an air barrier, so then you don't get that horrible rainbowing that you get when the case sticks to the phone and you have air pockets sat inside there. It basically just evens all that out for you. But yeah, these cases I really like. The purple one always looks better in the pictures than it does in reality. Like every single time I see one of these in the pictures, they look really good, and then you get it and you put it on and you just think the purple's way too bright, the yellow it just stands out too much, and obviously the fact that it's got the matte kind of darkened back, obviously it won't show scratches and things like that, and fingerprints especially. I mean, if you compare those, you can touch this as much as you like, you're not going to get any fingerprints on it, but it doesn't really show off the phone that much either. So what I normally do is, whenever I order this sort of variation of cases, I'm not really just thinking about myself, I'm thinking about what my kids might like once I actually give the phone to them, because obviously upgrading every year, it means that I have that luxury of being able to pass the phone down every year. It means that the kids never have to worry, basically I never have to worry about buying them one separately, and it keeps them reasonably up to date with a decent phone. Now this one, I think this is literally just dirt from being in storage. I've never actually used this phone. This the kind of case that this case. The only reason I order cases like this, my wife's gonna hate me for saying this, but basically it's if I ever hand it off to my wife, the phone, then because she's, let's say, a lot more clumsier than me when it comes to phone use or phone care, I need more protective case. So this is the kind of case that she will normally use. So this is the exact same case that she's got on her 10s Max at the moment. Let's get all of this horribleness out of shot. So this is basically a two-piece case. So you have the rubber inside. You put the phone in with this off, and then you're meant to clip this in. Usually, what happens is once you actually clamp that in, what you can sometimes find is, because I used to use the clear wrap or the clear skins on the phone, it'd become too thick, and what would actually happen is this bottom port wouldn't close. So if, I don't know if you'll be able to, yeah, you should just be able to see that. That is meant to actually fit inside the lightning port. So essentially you're closing off all your ports and you're basically protecting against dust a little. Your speakers obviously vent out of these channels here as well, but if I turn it that way, as you can see, there's no real outlet just there because it'll be pressed right against there, so it will muffle the sound slightly, so the sound's not quite as good. I've never really had any issues with phone calls and the actual output of the volume when it comes to using the speakers built into any of the iPhones that I've used this case with, but obviously it's not quite as good as the original experience. But you can literally drop this anywhere. It's like a tank, and it will keep the phone protected. And these are basically just variations on something that I see in the pictures, and it's similar to what I've done with the iPhone 12 as well, where I'll order all of these kind of cases as soon as I've basically placed the order for the phone. So a lot of these cases, the clear ones are usually the first ones that actually come, because these are mass produced, and basically you can pick these up for like 99p, and worst case scenario, if you get the phone, you can just quickly slap one of these on until one of your other cases come through. That's the kind of idea behind buying so many different cases. The fact that you've got a little bit of a variation in terms of the cases, but also you've got basically something that is really protective, like these ones. You've got other stuff that is basically just kind of more for show, essentially. And then you've also got things like these ones where it's literally just the thinnest case you can possibly get, offering you scratch resistance, because that's essentially all I need whenever I'm handling my phone. Even at work, I'm very careful with how I handle my phone, so I'll never put it down anywhere unless I'm putting it in between say a piece of paper or something. So I am very careful with how I handle my phone. But yeah, that's just a look at some of these cases that I had for the 11 Pro Max. What we'll be doing is, once the 12s come through, I'm gonna actually do another video where I basically try on all the cases with both versions of the 12. I won't say which ones I've ordered yet. You can wait and see. So if you've not already done so, please do subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much for all of those that watch live. If you're watching this back at a later time, obviously just drop any comments down below.